Council Bluffs is a relatively small town. Across the river is Omaha, Nebraska.
We have a good mix of urban-suburban community.
And tucked away in a Council Bluffs strip mall is a local favorite, Sugar's.
Sugar's Diner is a small diner, bar, local clientele, good food, and at night, a pretty decent bar crowd.
A place where everybody knows everybody, and where 60-year-old Ilene Gowan had worked for some 2 years.
She was a character. That was her, always trying to find a way to make somebody smile. She liked working at Sugar's. She got there really early in the morning to clean the place. Then she would get cleaned up and go and waitress then.
Her boyfriend, on and off boyfriend, Ivan Samuel Brammer, he went by Sam. He also worked at Sugar's. He was a dishwasher there.
She loved him, and that was how she was. Once she fell in love with someone, it didn't matter. She'd love him anyway.
He was a good grandfather. He was a good role model. He was like a father figure to me because he adopted me when I was 5.
Sam lived with his granddaughter in her apartment complex, where Ilene also stayed at times.
They would drink, they would get in arguments, and she would be kicked out. And then she would come back, and then she would be kicked out again later.
It was very toxic in a way, unstable.
She was dropped off, I think, at about 5:30 in the morning, and she did her job, she completed it, and then she was picked up by Brammer at about 8:30 in the morning.
She was supposed to be back at 2, I think, in the afternoon for her waitress shift, and that was when she never showed up.
And then she disappeared. Nobody has heard from her since. That was on the 13th of February.
We blew her phone up. I mean, I probably called her 20 times before I fell asleep that night. Never did get a hold of her, never got a response.
The next day, February 14th, Valentine's Day, Ilene again failed to show up for her shift at Sugar's.
If she missed a day, she would always reach out to the owner of the bar and let her know what was going on.
The owner, Megan, sent a message to Ilene's phone.
Megan initially thought, she's drunk, you know, this is not like her.
Megan showed us the text from my sister. That wasn't from her. That's not how she would talk. It's not what she would do.
On the 14th, we went and filed a police report of missing persons that night.
Usually, not a big deal. All right, adults go missing sometimes because they just want a timeout.
No, you don't. Hey, did you find your heart at?
She did drink. She was possibly an alcoholic.
So the police basically just told us that she was an adult with no mental health issues and that she could just go off the grid if she wanted to. Didn't feel like they were taking it seriously at that point.
As each day went on, I got more and more concerned and more worried, and I just knew that I couldn't sit back and wait for them to tell me what the outcome was.
Nicole was really the one trying to drive the train. This is something that needed to be taken seriously because this isn't just mom needs a break.
And then we had a big snowstorm.
Roads completely snow-covered, visibility is under a mile, and I can verify that for you right now.
So it kind of made it hard to go out and physically look for her, but we did. Nicole and I drove anywhere we could think of in Council Bluffs looking for her, in places that she may be hanging out or friends that she may be with.
As we got deeper into it, then it became very evident that there was much more to the story that we needed to find out.
And police decided to bring Sam Brammer in for questioning.
I'm the sergeant that you talked to on the phone. My name's Ted Roberts. I'm a sergeant.
You got the phone with you?
Yeah.
Initially, they're focusing on Sam. Not even that they're really suspicious about him. They just want to get a story. And obviously, he's seen on video picking her up at 8:30 in the morning.
sorry.
You know, you got, when I got on the phone with you, and you
Yeah.
said that I was the last person seen her alive.
I didn't say that.
Yep.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you sure did.
I said you were the last person that saw her before she went missing. So that's why it was important for us to talk.
We're not assuming bad, foul play at this point. They're just trying to track down her whereabouts.
I mean, basically, we got a crazy deal here where, Ilene is evidently, her family and everything else, she's never done this kind of thing before. She's never just, took off and gone. They all know.
What she does is she comes to me. She's moved in with me 4 or 5 times. But usually when she moves in with me, she stays away from home.
She had said the last time that they broke up that she would never, ever have anything to do with him again. Not only was he physical with her, he did things, said things very hurtful.
Ilene, I met her like 2 years ago. She's a real sweet person, but she has that alcohol problem. Well, I made my mistake. I thought I could change her. Can't be done. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We're in a situation where we don't want to threaten him. We want him to work with us. We want to find Ilene.
So, if you could, I just need to know what went on Monday morning. What happened Monday morning with you?
She texted me
Okay.
and wanted to know if I would come and get her because one of her friends supposedly was supposed to come and get her, and supposedly they ran out of gas. And I pulled up, she gets in a truck, we take off, right out to this, can't remember the guy's name now.
He said he took her to a gentleman named Mike Brockman, who lived about 2.5 miles north of Sugar's Diner. Mike Brockman he's a patron of Sugar's Diner, a longtime patron. Ilene, one evening, mentioned that she had no place to stay. And Mike Brockman, he offered, a space in his apartment for her. That's where she was staying.
And dropped her off there. Then I left.
She felt safe with Sam, obviously, otherwise she wouldn't be calling him.
And then wasn't too long after that is when she called me. I think she was at my house knocking because this guy raped her.
Okay.
Now that's true.
Raped her when?
That night.
I want to say 3rd or 4th day, I knew that it wasn't going to be a good outcome. I wanted to find her, and whether it was alive or dead, I just didn't want her out there alone anymore.
With still no sign of Ilene, Sam Brammer was brought in for a second round of questioning.
Pretty good. Sam, this is Detective Brannigan.
Okay.
He's going to sit in with me today, all right?
As Sergeant Roberts began developing more information, he started to question whether this really was a missing persons case and asked me to help him out with the case. The problem with his story is it couldn't be confirmed. Public Works has traffic cameras positioned throughout the city, and some of the video that we did locate didn't match his story at all. Like when he should have been dropping her off at Mike Brockman's residence, he was actually traveling west on Gainesville.
So if you could do me a favor and just kind of go through that timeline again.
I'm not too sure on the timing.
Okay.
We explained, well, we can't confirm your story that you went straight to Brockman's residence, and then he changed his story.
So, but she didn't want to go home right away. And then she wanted to stop at her mom's house. I stopped at her mom's house.
She was there between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning.
She had left her safe and her money in my apartment, right around $1,200, I think.
And she left carrying what looked like some type of suitcase. It was the safe.
Okay, so I took her home. Okay, so you took
He says that's when he took her to Brockman's residence. He didn't, he lied. We had the picture showing him going toward Nebraska at 9:30.
We got a small little snafu here we need to talk to you about, okay? We checked some of our cameras, and we have your truck going westbound at 9:28 a.m. going to Omaha. So you didn't go home, you went over to Omaha, it looks like. Do you remember what you did, or you saw?
I don't remember going to Omaha.
Where'd you go?
I told you I went straight home. I don't remember going to Omaha.
Well, the camera doesn't lie. It's your truck and it's your license plate number. And then 1 hour later, you're coming back from Omaha, and you're going eastbound coming back into Council Bluffs. 1 hour later.
I don't remember going to Omaha.
Where'd you go?
I went straight home.
Okay.
I know I wasn't that drunk.
We know that she's still in that truck. She was slumped and possibly had something over her head. I don't know if she was dead. She could have been. She could have been unconscious. We did locate video at the Burger King. He went through the drive-thru.
Hey, choose Burger King. How may we help you today?
It's not the greatest video, but it was significant. And you could see Ilene on the passenger side, still unnatural. That tells me something happened.
Whatever story Bramer gave, and he changed his story about 4 times, it always ended up with back dropping her off at Mike Brockman's.
And, she got out of the truck. When she got out of the truck, she walked in front of her truck, and that's when I went straight, turned around, and came back.
Okay.
However, we know he never got to Brockman's.
I mean, everything that we could verify for Mike Brockman was verified. Everything we could verify for Sam Bramer was not verified.
We knew that he was not telling us the truth. Why he was not telling us the truth, we needed to determine. You have to remember at this point, our motivation simply is to find Ilene before something tragic happens. We're still holding out hope that she is alive.
I ended up going to the apartment where he lived, and I knew that Sam knew from that minute when I asked him, "What'd you do to my mom?" And he just looked like he had seen a ghost.
One night, he came in my room, he gave me a hug and kiss saying, "I love you, don't believe everything you hear."
And then he told her he was going to see his deceased wife, Emily's grandmother.
He started to tell me how he was gonna kill himself. He was gonna kill himself to see my grandmother. And so I called 911 and they went out and looked for him.
43, I'm gonna be out with it at Kickers. Iowa plate, Charles, Ida, X-ray, 881. Hi sir, how are you?
Good.
Is this your vehicle?
Yes.
Hey, can I talk to you real quick?
Yeah.
Do you have any weapons or anything on you?
No.
Hey, can you keep your hands out of your pockets?
Yeah.
Thank you. We were called to check your wallet. Again, I haven't patted you down, so I just don't want you to reach in your pockets for weapons or anything, but we were called to check your welfare. Okay, I think you talked to your granddaughter earlier, and she was concerned about you, some of the statements that you made to her. I'm here for you, man. Tell me what's going on. Why are you feeling the way you're feeling?
My girlfriend, it was like a week ago, me and her broke up, and she moved in with a guy, and apparently he raped her.
How did you find that out?
She told me. She texted me.
Okay.
And she's been missing since Monday. They're trying to locate her right now.
Okay. So what comments did you make to your granddaughter that would be concerning this evening?
I just told her I'm going to go out and have a couple of drinks and I love her. That's it.
Okay, did you mention something about seeing Grandma tonight?
What's that?
Did you mention something about seeing Grandma tonight?
No.
I would like for you to talk to somebody tonight. I would like for you to talk to a medical professional.
To who?
To a medical professional.
Yeah.
About what you said to your granddaughter, which is concerning enough that there's now 3 or 4 police officers standing here talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's walk on over to the cruiser, sir. You can finish your smoking your cigarette, but like I said, we're going to go for a ride here anyway, so.
What am I under arrest for?
You're not under arrest, sir. Nope, this is clearly, it's just because of the statements you made. It's basically what we call a transport for medical purposes. For psychological purposes, you need an evaluation is all, okay? Now, like I said, if you refuse to go with us, then it'll be an emergency committal and you'll be up there for 72 hours, all right? But like I said, if you're making statements to harm yourself to family members...
Well, I would never do that.
Well, that's not what was said, okay? So
There's probably a really good reason why he wanted to end his life, or at least was threatening to end his life. We need to find that reason, and we need to find Eileen.
Transferring 1 adult male to Jenny.
Sam Brammer spent 2 nights under psychiatric observation at a Council Bluffs hospital.
I had a feeling in my heart that he must have did something to her. I mean, he called me constantly, asking if there's any new news.
It threatened to put a strain on the relationship between Justin and Nicole.
So I am Eileen's daughter, and this is Sam's son, and we are engaged. Him being patient and understanding with me as I am telling him, listen, I think your dad's guilty. I think your dad did something.
Brammer had another run-in with police at a Walmart on the same day he was released from the hospital.
The cops asked him questions outside. He said, let me move my truck. And he got in and he took off.
Are you still on the It's turning westbound on C from 22. He's now eastbound on A from 28. If that deputy's in the white Tahoe, he can light it up. He's approaching him.
I got a call from him on the run. He said he was on the run and he can't believe how fast his truck is going. It sounded like he was having the time of his life.
Is he lit up at all? Behind you, we're just past 29th Street, G westbound, 60 miles an hour.
He called me also and said, if the cops get behind me again, I'm gonna go right for a tree.
When things get crazy like that and they start speeding in excess of twice the posted speed limit and running stop signs, we're not going to continue that chase.
Say shut it down. Shut it down. I'm shutting it down. All right. I shut it down.
He's in the wind for several days. Eventually, Brammer does call and turns himself in. This was on Friday the 24th. He had 2 warrants, one for reckless driving and one for eluding.
But Brammer only spent 1 night in the county jail after his granddaughter posted his bond on the 2 misdemeanor charges.
We don't have enough to charge him at this point. He is our #1 suspect, and we just need to start tightening the case.
He bonds out of jail within hours, drives his truck over to a car crusher and gets the truck crushed. Gets it, squashed and gone. Crushed into a block.
We thought, all right, we can probably still get something out of that truck. But when we contacted them, they said it was not only crushed, but it was also shredded that same day. So at that point, we knew that evidence was gone.
What's the address for your emergency? I don't really have an address. We're off the exit of Crescent, Iowa, over by a public shooting area.
What's going on?
So we're driving down the road to go shooting or whatever, and there is a dead body on the side of the road.
Male or female?
It's female for sure.
She was obviously in, early to moderate stage decomposition. She was fully clothed, and in fact, she was fully clothed in the clothes that she'd been seen on all of these videos on the 13th. You know, and so she was just dumped out there. And it's an area, honestly, where they dump trash.
It was oddly kind of a relief in a way, because it told us that we knew we didn't have to wonder, but it was of course tragic to know that she was gone and in a horrible way and just dumped.
I was heartbroken. I couldn't speak to the detective anymore. I just lost it.
That was a terrible day. Terrible day.
At this point now, it's a death investigation, right? Her body's collected and it's taken to the state medical examiner's office, and so that's what happened with Ilene.
The results came back. Cause of death, undetermined. Manner of death, undetermined. The murder case was in trouble.
Pretty well kills it. Pretty well kills it. We had to sit down at the table with 10 or 12 of her family members and deliver the news that we couldn't file a murder charge. None of her injuries that were blunt force were sufficient to have caused death in this case.
I encouraged him to charge anyway. You know, we, as a family, we would support that, and win or lose, at least we would try.
I will tell you how this case goes. I will charge it. The defense will move for a judgment of acquittal because we don't have a cause of death. The judge will sustain that judgment of acquittal, and the case is over and the case is dismissed. And we'll never be able to file that case again. And so we talked to the family, told them this is what we're going to do. We're going to charge him with abuse of a corpse. That's a 10-year possible felony. And then we had theft, because we knew that she had $1,200 in a safe and he had deposited $1,200 in his bank account. And so we had a felony theft charge that we could file against him. And the family was very, very upset. And ultimately, one of the family members, and they'd said, well, what if we got a second opinion?
I had no idea where to go. Who do you call for an autopsy, a second autopsy? So doing Google searches, looking up pathologists, Dr. Bodden's name popped up on my Google. We knew his name well. We used to watch his shows.
Dr. Michael Bodden investigated
Washed up on shore. We get to opening up the stomach.
There were fractures of the left, the right, thyroid cartilage.
A former New York City medical examiner, Dr. Michael Bodden has since been involved in dozens of high-profile murder cases around the world.
So my wife said, well, you should just call Dr. Bodden. I said, I'm not going to call it because he's not going to answer it. And even if he does, he's not going to help us. And she says, well, I'll do it then.
You have reached the office of Dr. Michael Bodden.
And he picked up the phone and said hello. We couldn't believe it.
The family pooled their resources to hire Dr. Bodden, who made no promises.
I said, well, we just want a chance.
A few weeks later, Dr. Bodden's formal opinion, manner of death, homicide.
The key thing that turned out for us was that he saw an abrasion on her neck, and he was able to conclude that that abrasion was caused by a zipper from her jacket. He theorized that Sam had taken her jacket and twisted it like so around her neck, and that her zipper was here. And in the process of this, that zipper left an impression on her neck.
As far as I was concerned, that was enough.
We were all there every day.
I couldn't be with her when she needed me so badly with him. But I could go with her in the courtroom. And I had to do that.
Mr. Portage, Bay Police Court. This case is about jealousy. It's about anger. It's about control. It's about a man who for 2 weeks had no concern about Ilene being missing. Why? because he already knew she was dead. He took $1,200 of her cash and her phone, hid and moved her deceased body to a remote location, dumped her in the ditch like she was a piece of trash. At the end of this case, I'm going to ask you to hold the defendant accountable for his actions. You will be confirmedly convinced that the state proved this case beyond a reasonable doubt. I ask you to find the defendant guilty on all charges.
The 5 W's. You might remember this from 8th grade English class. Who, what, where, when, and why. Those are the questions that you need to be thinking of throughout this case. And I'm calling her alleged victim, not because I'm trying to seem blasé about it, but the fact is, we don't know how she died. It could have been an accident, it could have been another cause. So that's why I'm calling her the alleged victim, Ilene Gowan. You are never going to see any evidence of Mr. Brammer heading towards the Old Mormon Ridge Road to dump that body as the state would like you to believe. So when you go back into that jury room, after hearing all the evidence throughout this week, I feel confident that you will come back with the only just verdict, that Ivan Samuel Brammer is not guilty of all charges.
The very first day, as the jurors were walking out from one of the breaks, they were walking out of the courtroom, and he looked over at me and he lipped, "F you."
State would call Emily Brammer.
You swear or affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth.
Brammer's granddaughter Emily was a key witness for the prosecution against the man who had raised her as a father.
I knew I had to do it, but it was really, really difficult too. From my standpoint, he's not my father, he's not my dad, he's not anybody. He is literally a stranger to me.
Emily had accompanied her grandfather to the salvage yard, where he had his truck crushed and shredded.
Now, did you have a conversation with the defendant about what to say if law enforcement asked you about the crushing of the truck?
Yeah, he told me just to tell him I don't know where it is.
Why?
Because he didn't want them to know.
My name is Kelly Cruz.
And how are you currently employed?
I am an associate state medical examiner.
It was Dr. Cruz who had found that Ilene Gowan's cause of death and manner of death were undetermined.
So that was honestly what I believed was our biggest challenge. Are you familiar with Dr. Bodden?
I am.
You understand that he found the cause of death due to traumatic asphyxiation?
I did.
And a manner of death homicide?
Yes.
Were his findings, they're not excluded by your autopsy, are they?
No.
All right. You just don't believe, you have a different confidence level, and you're saying, I don't have an opinion that rises to that level, and he does. So is it fair to say that's your disagreement in this case?
Yeah, it's a differing medical opinion.
That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Cross? Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good morning, Dr. Cruz.
Good morning.
Did you have an opinion in the case of Ilene Gowan to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to her manner of death?
No, I did not.
Did you have an opinion as to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to Ilene Gowan's cause of death?
No, I made it undetermined.
And you ultimately disagree with Dr. Bodden's findings as to manner of death and cause of death, is that correct?
Yes.
No further questions.
When I have two witnesses that are both very well qualified saying different things, that's a struggle.
State may call the next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Dr. Michael Bodden. How many autopsies have you performed in your career?
More than 20,000.
The prosecutor made sure the jury knew about Dr. Bodden's distinguished background as a medical examiner.
I was involved in looking into the death of Kobe Bryant, yes.
And George Floyd up in Minneapolis?
Did a second autopsy, yes.
Oh, Dr. Bodden was wonderful. He's a gentleman, and he's so smart.
So, do you have an opinion as to cause of death?
Yes, I do.
And what is that opinion?
My opinion, as I expressed in my opinion letter, was traumatic asphyxia due to neck compression.
And do you have an opinion as to manner of death?
Yes.
And what is your opinion?
Homicide.
Okay. Is it your opinion that that zipper is consistent with an injury that you see on her neck?
Yes, I think these teeth made those marks on the neck.
But the twisting of a jacket collar, would that create that same sort of double pressure, kind of full circumferential compression that could result in death?
Yes.
That's all I have for you. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Any cross?
Yes, Your Honor.
In this case, I believe it's your position that the coat is somehow used to help with the strangulation, is it not?
With the compression, yes.
And I know Mr. Wilbur got up and twisted the coat some. Would the coat have to be off the person then to do that, or on?
On the person.
And they would twist, what, the back portion of it then?
No, the front portion to twist it around. And that also would raise the pressure under the jawbone. This mark from the zipper is above the Adam's apple underneath the jawbone.
Would it be something that you could do to another person while in a vehicle together?
Yes.
With someone like him who has such a depth of knowledge and experience, the defense really couldn't question him too much about his opinion.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, doctor. You are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the state rests. Our theory was not that this was a planned murder. Something happened while they were in the truck together. Bramer snapped. That's why he was charged with second-degree murder, not first-degree, because I had no evidence of premeditation.
Mr. Munger, obviously when the jury comes back, I'm going to be looking at you and having the defense present their case, whether or not your client was going to elect to testify.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bramer, you and I have had conversations about the right to testify in a trial against you, correct?
Correct.
And you are electing not to testify by your own choosing?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Munger, on behalf of the defendant, do you have any evidence?
Your Honor, at this time, the defense rests.
Prosecutor Paul Forte is now delivering the state's closing argument, so let's go right into court.
The defendant dumped Eileen's body in a ditch in a remote location where not likely to be found for a while. And at the same time, the entire time that law enforcement, friends, and family are searching for his body, or her body, he is lying to law enforcement. He is not helping them find her. He's doing the exact opposite. He's throwing off the scent. He's making it more difficult to find Eileen. Dr. Cruz says the body just doesn't tell me enough. Dr. Bodden, on the other hand, he believes the body tells a different story. He's done over 20,000 autopsies, and he's also done hundreds of asphyxiation cases. You have two opinions. There's actually three opinions, and it's the most important one. It's yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is now the opportunity for the defense to provide you their final argument. Mr. Munger?
Now, I told you on Monday that the state was going to try to paint you or write you a story. And I asked you to pay attention to the main elements of the story, the 5 W's as I call them. Who, what, where, why, and then how. And if the state failed to prove any one of these elements, just one, if they failed to prove it, then you must find Sam Bramer not guilty of murder in the second degree. So that brings us to Dr. Bodden. obviously a renowned and well-known pathologist, very good at testifying. He was paid $8,500 a day, which he testified wasn't a reasonable amount of money for someone like him. He was paid $17,000 to render this opinion. And do you think that Dr. Bodden would have been brought in if he had the same opinion or agreed with Dr. Cruz's opinion? But the state is trying to tell you that Ilene Gowan was unconscious, unmoving in the vehicle at the Burger King drive-thru. Would it not have been nice to have heard from the Burger King employee who was in that video? He was kind of bopping around. He wasn't screaming, "Oh my goodness, there's a dead lady in my drive-thru. She's bleeding from her head. She's got bruises all over her face. She's got a tooth knocked out." No. We didn't hear any of that. And when you go back in that jury room, you have to be firmly convinced that Sam Brammer committed these crimes. Firmly convinced. Beyond a reasonable doubt. And I submit to you that you should fill out on each count that he is not guilty.
We sat down and we was all going to try and play cards, and we got one hand dealt out, and they come back and said there's a verdict.
I'll have Mr. Brammer and his counsel stand, please.
So all of us were present when they read the verdict.
State of Iowa versus Ivan Samuel Brammer. Count one. We, the jury, find the defendant, Ivan Samuel Brammer, guilty of murder in the second degree.
He just stood there quiet as a mouse. Didn't have any emotion, nothing.
As to count two, we, the jury, find the defendant, Ivan Samuel Brammer, guilty of abuse of a corpse. Count three, guilty of theft.
I think everybody was just like let out a sigh of relief.
I knew that the Lord wouldn't let me down.
I give all credit to the family that they reached out, and I give all credit to Dr. Bodden. Without Dr. Bodden in this case, there's no way that case goes to trial for murder.
We just felt as a family it was, the last thing that we could do for her was to try to get justice for her, and it was very gratifying when it came back guilty.
Counsel, are you ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Brammer, this is your opportunity to tell the court anything you wish to state with respect to sentencing. Anything you wish to say?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Yeah, I've got several family members that wish to address the court, Your Honor.
There is always going to be a void in my life because my mother is no longer here, and that void can never be filled. The way you walked around the courtroom, how could you look at my family and smirk at us? Or lip words like F you. You should be ashamed of yourself. No one should have to end their life like that. I wouldn't wish that kind of death on my worst enemy, which is you. As much as people say you deserve what you did to her, I don't agree. I believe you will live for eternity in hell for what you did.
The defendant, Ivan Samuel Brammer, having been found guilty of murder in the second degree, is hereby committed to the custody of the Director of Corrections of the state of Iowa for an indeterminate term not to exceed 50 years. As to count two, abuse of a corpse, 10 years. As to count three, theft in the second degree, 5 years. Counts 1, 2, and 3 shall be served consecutively, that is, one after another, for a total indeterminate term of 65 years. Mr. Brammer, the overall reason for this sentence concerning all three counts is the cruelty and seriousness of the crimes. You stole Ilene's life threw away her lifeless body, and then again stole from her finances. Your senseless and cruel acts have taken a mother, a daughter, an aunt, and numerous friends. We are adjourned.
Someone like him doesn't belong in this society anymore. He's long gone.
I mean, the man's 62 now. You do the math, unless, I mean, he'd be 90-something before he's eligible for parole.
He'll never get out, and that's good.